Aries, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for May 9th through the 15th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link because the signs are different. All right, so Aries, this week we have a supportive week in the astrology, as you can see here in the transit graph. A lot going on. It's actually a lot simpler than it looks. Essentially, what we have is we have that Mercury retrograde going over Venus, and when they conjoin, they are forming up that kite that has been the emphasis since this new moon of last week. So this is the kite formation, the supportive energy here with your fire houses, your 1st, 5th, and 9th with the grand trine, as well as the sextile up to your 11th with that Neptune. So essentially where this starts is on Monday when we have Jupiter going direct. And this is a Jupiter who's been transiting that 5th house of yours. And so over the past 5 months, a lot of you may have been reflecting on what you enjoy in life. What are your interests, your passions? What are those things close to your heart that maybe you're re-examining or have been re-examining? Because this week, that stuff starts to shift. And I think Monday there could be some insights, especially with all of this involving the North Node, in terms of this new beginning of your self-expression, which has been unfolding this year, but Jupiter's been retrograde. So now that energy starts to move forward, in a much more external sense. So it could be opportunities to get creative, could be entertaining, could be being entertained, could be tapping into your playful side, expressing yourself, etc. I think is wonderful. So that's going to be the shift, and that starts on that Monday. And of course, it does take time for Jupiter to gain that momentum. But there's definitely that shift of now outward opportunities to express yourself. Now, Venus starts that sextile on Monday. So in terms of this kite formation, there's a lot of this supportive energy here in terms of you going with the flow with your aspirations. Okay, this has been an area of transformation, which has been the South Node transiting that 11th house. But now in this easier aspect, there's, I think, a willingness to maybe let go, have more faith about your aspirations in life, your hopes and wishes. Okay, and I think that can be emphasized on Monday. Now, as we go through the rest of the week, the trines start to begin with the Venus aspects and then Mercury a little bit later with that conjunction. So let's go ahead and talk about what this kite is actually saying. And this is a lot like last week because you just had a new moon in your 1st house. And so that's where the concentration of energy is. All right, and so the 1st house is about your aspirations, your goals, your self-image, your motivations in life, getting that fiery energy moving. For some of you, it's your birthday this week. Happy birthday. If you're watching this for your sun's sign and it's your birthday. But all of you should have this bit of inspiration and have had it. But there was a lot of that Pisces influence from that last lunar cycle. So I think this week, a lot of that starts to move forward. And it really is an excellent week for applying any of those new insights relating to self. Okay, or any of those goals or whatever it is that you've been perhaps focused on. So in terms of this conjunction in particular, this is the fact that you could be enjoying your life on the material level, maybe with relationships at the moment, which has been the case with Venus here. Now you're re-examining and rethinking a lot of those things with this conjunction, with that Mercury retrograde. All right, so re-examining relationships, re-examining what you value, who you value, right? These kinds of matters, and even reflecting on yourself. You know, with all of this forward-moving energy, we can't forget the fact that your ruler Mars is retrograde, and that Mercury's retrograde. So it's still a week, specifically with this Mercury, of rethinking, rehashing, bringing that extra attention to the communication, to the self, and perhaps redoing some of those goals and such. But it can be enjoyable, and there could be some new beginnings and some new insights that are unfolding this week, relating to yourself, relating to your goals particularly. Now, in terms of the trine up to Jupiter, this is the fact that this self-expression shift is now very much supporting these goals and these aspirations and things that I feel like you might be focused on. Okay, so that shift earlier in the week with that Jupiter direct could be some new opportunities, some new insights or something like that throughout the week for you to really tap into your true self, express yourself, etc. And that's directly supporting, and it's buoyant, right? It's a bit of that playfulness, directly supporting this continuous new beginning with yourself. Now, in terms of the trine up to Pluto, This is the fact that your life path has been transforming, and it's been very important for you to detach from any outcomes in terms of the future, in terms of what's possible. And it's that detached perspective that is really creating the powerhouse this week, and has been with that trine up to Pluto. So continuing to do that, and I think specifically with this conjunction, transforming old modes of thinking with that Mercury, all right, old belief systems. Okay, this has already been the case because Mercury's already gone direct over this and now is going back over it again. So it's, through this re-examining of self, it's transforming any ideas, any old belief systems about self, about goals, about what you're capable of. That's what the first house is all about. It's about what we're capable of. And here, maybe this week, which would be new, is relating to relationships. Maybe there's some powerful changes happening with that. Okay, that'll be specifically as we go into the weekend, Friday and Saturday. That could also be some insights, like I was saying, about relationships, about what you value, who you value. But there's transformation, there's change happening, which is very much supporting that. And it's supporting, I think, a bit of that adventurous spirit, which really comes into the picture through that non-attached perspective. All right, so that's the Kite. And then, of course, that willingness to go with the flow is an opportunity. That's the sextile up to Neptune, to allow the aspirations to come to you in divine timing, those hopes and wishes, anything around group stuff or organizations. Good to let go, good to have that faith and trust. But I think that can come easy. All right, and then over the weekend, the sun starts to shift into Taurus. So there is a bit of this new focus you'll probably feel going into next week, which is going to be more on the material values of life, right? Which I think is definitely being aspected, and definitely some new things coming about with that from this Venus association. But here it's going to be your focus. And I think where the focus will still continue to be on your goals and on yourself right now at the moment, you'll notice this shift where I think there'll be this focus on perhaps wanting to enjoy the simple pleasures of life, the good meal, the relaxation. And this will be the location of your next new moon next month, which is going to be new beginnings relating to that, to those values, right? And I think it's a good time to be focused on those values, maybe even focusing on where you can increase your material security and your appreciation, your gratitude in life. All right, but that's going into next week. Sun could be sextiling up to Chiron, or will be sextiling up to Chiron during that shift, so there could be that bit of rejuvenation feeling with the shift over the weekend, particularly with letting go, because Chiron's been helping you heal your connection with the unknown, with the divine process, with God. And it's that healing that's recently started to shift, I think could be directly supporting this new shift of focus for you to cultivate the material enjoyments going into next week. All right, so Aries, have a fantastic week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.